I remember looking forward to this game. I remember reading previews of it in Computer Games Magazine, drooling over screenshots, and cursing my rotten luck that, as a broke-ass teenager with no disposable income, there was no way I could afford to upgrade my computer in order to run this game anytime soon. After its release, I was able to spend a little bit of time playing it at a friend's house, and there were no two ways about it. It was the best looking game I'd ever seen in my life. I wasn't able to really give the game the time it deserved and properly play all the way through it until a couple years later, after buying a cheap used Xbox and playing the Collector's Edition port. At that point, Doom 3 had already been deposed from its short-lived reign as the most technologically advanced game on the market, and even though the Xbox version was a technical marvel for getting the game to run at a decent frame rate on the limited hardware, my chance to play through the prettiest game in the world while it was still the prettiest game in the world had passed. Visually, Doom 3 was a huge leap ahead of what had come before, and all the years following its release, the improvements in video game presentation have been so gradual and constant that nothing since has been able to stake its claim as the best-looking game to date with such deserved confidence. So, that said, when I finally played all the way through it, it was kind of a slog. It didn't really do much to differentiate itself from any other single-player first-person shooters I had ever played, with the small exception of the usable interfaces for the game's many computer terminals, but even that just seemed to fulfill promises that 3D Realms hadn't delivered on yet from their 2001 trailer for Duke Nukem Forever, rather than introduce any new ideas. It was another key hunt maze shooter, but set almost entirely in dark, cramped industrial environments that, while atmospheric, offered damn near no variety, save for a couple outdoor environments and, of course, hell, which is awesome. Overall, I definitely enjoyed my time with the game, but I also clearly remember that at a certain point, it started to feel more like a chore. It was just another conventional shooter, and it was more interesting for its historical significance as being what once was the prettiest game ever than for the experience it had to offer. And even though the game was a competent provider of entertainment, the fact that I had wanted and waited for so much more made me feel like the game was so much less. So when I saw the game for cheap on Steam, what convinced me to buy it wasn't really nostalgia. It was the awareness that there was a healthy mod community for it, so it seemed like a good investment. And also, I figured, screw it, I have my own PC, and I'm looking at a cheap copy of Doom 3, and even though the game is more than a decade old, I just wanted to know if my computer would be able to handle it. I actually don't do that much PC gaming, so it did seem like a legitimate question to me. And you know what? Holy shit, this game is fun! Yeah, the game looks dated, and yeah, everything I said about the cramped and repetitive environments absolutely holds true. But rather than running in one direction, I have to think carefully about where I've been, where I'm trying to go, and how to go about getting there. I had to really figure out my environment in order to progress. And even though it's actually pretty simple, I feel like a friggin' genius for opening a storage locker using a code I found by reading someone's personal emails. I feel like a badass when I dodge an imp's fireball, duck behind a wall, pull out my shotgun, and then annihilate him with one well-placed shot when he follows me around the corner. I rack my brain when my health is low, trying to remember where the hell is that med kit or health station. And when my ammo is low, every single shot becomes precious, raising the stakes and raising the adrenaline high of another successful kill. These kinds of thrills were normal in 2004. This is what conventional shooters used to be like. Transplanted into the year 2016, it seems like the most average first-person shooter gameplay provides the kind of excitement that AAA gaming fails to, with their linear environments that you pass through once and forget about, interchangeable weapons that all pretty much do the same thing, objective markers, regenerating health, and rigidly scripted, exposition-heavy story sequences. That's where our industry is now, and that's what it means to be a conventional shooter right now. When it came out, Doom 3 was ahead of its time in visuals, but behind the times in gameplay. But now, when its character models look chunky and awkward, when its particle and fire effects have been outclassed, and when its razor-sharp shadows are a relic, its demanding action, high tension, and intelligent level design feel like the next step in the evolution of fun. It just goes to show how lucky we were and how high our standards used to be, that a game as exciting and engrossing as Doom 3 barely got a pass back in the day. I don't want to be that guy who says that shooters were better back in my day, before they got all modern and mainstream, but I have to be that guy today, because they were. I don't even feel nostalgic for Doom 3, because I didn't really like it all that much back when I first played it. But it's 2016, and I had an absolute blast playing through it again, because it's just better than the blur of samey, sandy, loud, weak sauce I've been drowning in. I mean, fuck me, shooters used to be good. Seriously, play Doom 3. It's awesome. And if you find yourself itching for more thrills like it, you're in luck. Because Doom 3 is actually just one lesser instance of a superior kind of game.